had somebody tell me the other day that, a lot of these different payroll rep people that are out there are attractive and sexy, and all of that stuff. And I had somebody tell me that, we just signed with them because they looked good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what am I, a piece of trash to you?
From the business capital of the world, the Big Apple, New York's...
Not really.
Middle Tennessee, it says here.
Yeah.
Sounds riveting. This is the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast, a podcast about Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals. Mostly.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Matt Wilson, as always, for the big voice for this program, the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast. You can check out Matt's podcast at the Mostly Marketing Podcast. Every time he puts out an episode, it's always a delight. He does a really good job. So I think you should check it out. This is a video and audio podcast about Middle Tennessee business owners, entrepreneurs, and we have real conversations that have tangents and offshoots and all that fun stuff. Sometimes you ask a question and something interesting may pop out, and we got to explore those things. That's where the meat is, as I say. But like I said, this is a video and audio podcast. Everything that you need to know to follow along and like and subscribe is at MMTBP.com. MMTBP.com. I am your host, Jim McCarthy, with Jim McCarthy Voiceovers and it'syourshow.co, where we produce other podcasts like this one. You can check them all out there as well. And today, we have another friend of mine and a fellow BNIer, Ashley Pack. What is happening? Bring that mic a little closer. Let's hear you.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Sure, we'll go with morning. Nobody knows otherwise.
All the time.
That's right. Every time I see you, we're always at Wednesday morning up in Franklin.
Uh-huh.
And you're always a bright, sunny face.
Thank you.
To see, you're always in a good mood.
I try to smile most of the time.
If you guys are in service-oriented businesses like credit card processing, HR, payment processing, that's payroll.
Payroll.
That is something that might be of interest to you for this particular episode, because that's what Ashley does with Heartland Payroll.
Yep.
That's right. You're not in the credit card side. You're not in anything else, just the payroll.
Uh-huh.
Right. What have you done prior to this? Because it's not a you're selling a commodity, and it's not exactly the sexiest thing to sell. It takes a while, I would imagine. But what led you to this? Because, it's definitely an entrepreneurial bug and spirit that goes into it.
Uh-huh.
But you're kind of like, I guess, for anybody listening, I guess it would be interesting to hear from you being not an entrepreneur, but an intrapreneur, which is kind of a new concept emerging in the space, where, similar to a car salesman, like when I used to sell cars, you are pretty much your own business, but all the back end, bookkeeping, accounting, inventory, things of that nature, all the back office stuff is kind of taken care of. It's up to you to go out and get some money coming in. That's right.
Yeah.
And you could brand yourself, but you have the organization that is bolstering you, hopefully healthily. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So starting out, how did it all begin?
How this began is, I don't know. Is a whirlwind. I think I have my bachelor's degree in teaching, and so I taught for a little bit, and then ended up.
What'd you teach?
Pre-K.
Okay.
For about 8 years.
Oh wow. It's going to take some years off your life.
It did. No, I loved every single bit of it.
Did you?
A lot of people look at me now and they realize, hey, she was I see the pre-K now.
Right.
I see where the teacher came from.
Does that come in to be useful for what you do now? You're dealing with kindergartners and stuff like that?
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
Business owners, I wouldn't compare them to pre-Kers at all, but there are some things sometimes, a lot of business owners are very focused on building their business, and they're not worried about the back house of the things.
Right.
And I can come in and help them with that back house.
You're basically able to come in and say, hey, payroll is a thing. So that's, I think, the most fun thing to deal with as a business owner. So we can do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much the pitch.
No.
A little bit more to it?
There's so much more.
So did you go from teaching to this?
No. Then I was a business operations manager for a transportation department in Nashville. And I actually helped implement Kronos, which was another fabulous payroll company.
It sounds like a tool of a villain. You know?
It is. Kind of like
at the first Incredibles.
Yeah, your Captain America,
right.
shield over there.
That's
yeah.
right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not shield, it's Kronos.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, so I did that for a bit, and so I guess that's where the payroll came in, and then I sold for Aflac for 2 years. That's where I learned how to sell, and so then I blended the two together.
What was the most surprising thing to you getting into a sales role? You said you learned how to sell there. What was, did you already think you could sell at that? I mean, I guess in a teaching position, you are selling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're selling your influence. You're selling the kids to, hey, sit down or you're going to get disciplined or whatever. Make sure you take your nap, that kind of stuff. That's a form of sales.
It is.
It really is.
Everything is a form of sales.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All business owners are selling something.
Who's the salesperson in your marriage? You or your husband?
Me.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah, I know that. But I mean, every night, your husband's he's got to sell himself to you sometimes.
Oh, he does all the time.
Yeah. Does he?
Every night.
You want a back rub?
Yeah, he's, him. He's a very quiet person. I'm not quiet, I guess.
But I get an interesting first impression of him through pictures. He looks like he wouldn't be. Like when you meet him for the first time in person, he's very reserved, doesn't say too much. You could tell you're being measured.
Yeah.
And analyzed. But he looks like in all the pictures you show, like he would just be a wild time. Yeah. Like a lot of fun.
Well,
once you get to know him.
He has a lot of friends.
Right.
But a lot of close friends.
Right.
So
he's discerning.
He picks and chooses who he wants to be friends with.
Right.
But yeah, he is very...
So I guess I'm out.
No, you're not out. He just doesn't know you well enough.
I met him that one time.
Yeah. No, but he's not as outgoing as I am, know, and he's used to keeping all those farm animals all the time, so.
That's right. You also have the farm.
Yeah.
So you're getting into Aflac again. What was like the, why did you call it that? Your training ground in sales?
You know what? I really think that I had to learn how to do the rough stuff first. I had to learn how to make the cold calls. I had to learn how to do the pulling of the doors. I had to do all of that first with Aflac before I could figure out what I was going to actually do with my sales career.
Right.
And so that, I think, has everything to do with it.
Do you remember your first phone call or cold call that you made?
I remember the first bad one.
Really?
The guy told me, a few cuss words and told me,
really?
And then hung up the phone. Yep.
Wow.
That happens quite often, I think.
We didn't have to do too much cold calling in the car business. There was always a good reason to call, especially because you had so much inbound prospects, coming to the dealership, out in the lot or whatever. But, if you really wanted to kind of get a couple of other options or opportunities for ups, you could prospect. I used Craigslist. I would put cars on like the used car listings on Craigslist and just try it out,
Yeah.
But typically branding myself is what I did over time, and it worked out pretty well. So I became pretty well known for being a straight shooter, and that's what I was.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But cold calling for us, it wasn't really cold because it was already a warmed up lead. Like they would do an internet inquiry, and then you'd make the phone call, see if you can get or even take a phone call.
Yeah.
If it was a phone up, and the first order of business on a phone up was getting their information. Hey, what's a good number I can call you back? I'm going to put hands on the car and see if it's here, and I'll get back to you. So getting at least the phone number, because we didn't have caller ID or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was what I learned.
Yeah. No.
What were some of the things about cold calling you learned?
Mine were straight cold calls.
Yeah.
Googling basically businesses around me, to see if I could get them to buy insurance.
What was some of the mistakes you made with cold calling?
Not enough confidence, I think, will definitely hurt you. And so that was one of the things that I think I had to get used to after, a little bit, just really having to make sure that I had enough confidence when I was on the phone.
Right. How long did that take?
Well, I had a good boss. And so I would say probably a couple weeks,
That's not too bad.
And he really focused on making sure that I could, I had a spiel to basically say that, kind of helped.
How many cold calls a day would you make?
Probably 120.
Oh my gosh, really?
Well, it was during COVID.
Right.
So all the doors were shut. Everybody was kind of closed down. So the only thing we had was the phone or Google Meet, And so we were making a ton of cold calls every day and then doing Google Meets as the meetings. And that was, a different scenario for sure.
Does your garage door sound like this? If it does, it's screaming for help. Call Incredible Doors, 931-348-DOOR. We're making garage doors in Murray and Williamson counties work better, sound better, and, spring better. We just make them incredible again. Incredible Doors in Spring Hill. When your door's springs break, you need remote reconnections, opener installation, or just about anything to do with your garage door, go to IncredibleDoors.com or call 931-348-DOOR. Follow us on Facebook for specials on maintenance visits, keypads, and other items. 931-348-DOOR.
So 120 phone calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
How many does that break down to an hour? About 12? 10 to 11, I say?
No, I think I could probably do about 20 in an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was probably
And you're literally, you're just Googling people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would prepare my list the night before.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so I would have a good bit of, and then after, making that many, the next week would be all follow-ups, which would be so much easier.
We have a CRM, I guess, that you could put everybody in.
Yeah. And I kept up with it on a notebook and a spreadsheet and whatever else I could think of.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Just to get used to using into the mindset of a CRM?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They used to berate us for not putting notes in.
Oh, I know.
In
Yeah.
the car business, it wasn't gentle. Let's put it that way. They would say, hey, did you talk to this person? Yeah. They want to, well, did you put notes in to indicate what you did and what's going to happen? Where are they going next? I'm going, no, I understand why.
Yeah.
It's a habit. We got to do it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, gospel.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put it all in. Because that stuff helps when you reach back out to them.
It does.
It really does.
It really does.
So do you remember your spiel? Can you pull it out of your...
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Hi, business owner. I'm Ashley Pack. I work with Aflac Business Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just calling today to schedule a meeting with you.
Yeah.
And usually I just, and then from there it was kind of like, oh, I've heard from Aflac, or what is Business Solutions,
Mm-hmm.
or what is this? And so it went really well, though. I mean, I was pretty good at selling over the phone.
Did you ever go into techniques of warming it up beforehand, like finding different ways, emailing them or anything, or were they heavily on phone calls?
Well, I found it a little bit, I could get to more people in a better amount of time if I just sat down and made the phone calls,
right,
instead of sending out emails before
okay.
and looking them up to see who the business owner was or anything like that. So I just went for it. It was better off doing it that way.
That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah. It does.
But you think about it, it does, because you're kind of on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a performance.
It is.
I used to actually, if I had to make a cold call to somebody, it was typically somebody in service. They would bring their car in and say, hey, I see that you got your car in. It actually fits the profile for what we typically look for trade-ins. Mm-hmm. Do you mind? Would you want to get an appraisal done on it? So that was like a reason for calling. But being a voiceover guy, I knew how to use my voice to make it sound like I wasn't being corporate-y.
Yeah.
Right? So, or I would say, hey, I'm just going to be right up front with you. This is a cold call. I don't like making them. You probably don't like getting them. Is that something that we can agree on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how are you? How's your business?
Mm-hmm.
What's your name? You know, I see that you own this business. Tell me about it. What's going on with it? Do you have time, first and foremost? You know, just kind of get them talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would work. Sometimes it,
Yeah.
cuss you out and hang up.
I know.
Right.
I know those.
So, Aflac, did you, as far as cold calling and selling yourself over the phone, I mean, how else did it teach you about selling and sales? Like going through the road to the sale, the fundamentals, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Did you guys do trial closes and all that stuff?
No.
Really?
No. I think the biggest thing was that it taught me was that I could pretty much sell anything after that.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, it takes any time for somebody to just realize, okay, I've sold this. I could probably sell something else.
Right. So no trial closing. That was like basically we'd come back from a test drive, and that was my, I earned the right to ask, well, hey, if we can get the numbers agreeable, can you see this thing being in your driveway tonight? Oh, by the way, pull into this spot. This is the I'll take it home today spot. And they would either laugh or look at me the way you're looking at me right now.
That's a good thing. That was a good way to do it, though.
But it took a little bit of training because even when I had to TO the customer, meaning I had to bring a manager over to talk, have at least a shot at, well, maybe I could do something before the idiot screws it all up kind of thing. One of the guys, he's like, are you trial closing these people? I go, no, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, you got to ask them if they even want to move forward. I go, okay, how do I do that? What does that mean?
Well, I feel like I do trial closing now.
Right.
I mean, I assume the sell.
Right. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got so good at it where they would sit down at the desk and I'd say, so how do you want to title this?
Yeah.
Let me get the rest of your information so I can get you the numbers. But how are we titling the car?
Yeah.
And they would just, oh yeah, well, we're going to put it in both of our names with here's the address, here's the license, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. Always assume the sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that was something I learned after I left Aflac. But
why'd you leave?
I didn't like selling insurance.
Right.
That's not my cup of tea.
What about selling insurance?
Neither.
I don't really try to sell insurance. I sell insurance.
Yeah, I don't want to sell either.
Putting the emphasis on the right syllable. So you didn't like selling it, but was it lucrative at least? I mean, was there potential to it? I would imagine there is.
Yeah, I made quite a bit.
With Aflac?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But how did Heartland come around?
They had reached out to me and had seen, I guess, my background on LinkedIn. And from there, it was pretty much, can you do an interview? And I told them no at first, but then they called me back like a week later and said, please do an interview with us. And so that's when I did.
And how do they sell you on the job? Because that is a sales meeting. A lot of people don't know that. Job interviews are sales meetings from both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, they, well, I think the biggest thing was the fact that I was able to still work from home.
Right.
Okay.
Aflac, you couldn't?
No, I could.
Oh, really?
I could, but I was going, I don't know. I almost felt like there was a little bit more pressure with Aflac. With Heartland, it was pretty much you own your own business.
Okay.
Do you want to own your own business? And that was something I wanted to do at the time. And so, and I own my own book of clients, but I'm still a W-2 employee.
Really?
So that's the other plus about it. So I was going from a 1099 commissions to a W-2 employee, but also receiving a monthly residual. So it's a different kind of payment.
But I mean, it's a residual, but you have, is it draw versus commission? Because they got to pay you something.
Yeah. So at the very beginning, I was able to take more commissions than I am now.
Oh, okay. So larger split. Okay. And over time.
So over time, after I built up my book of business, I was able to not have to take out as much
Did they train you and everything? I guess it's got to be part of the program.
Yeah. Since I already knew a lot about payroll anyway, there wasn't a lot that I had to learn about that portion of it. But they took me through a lot of training. It was about 2 months worth, I think.
What's a good target in that space that you typically went after? Did you have to do a lot of cold calling there too?
No.
Really?
No, I really didn't, because I did my fair share of cold calling.
Right.
And so, and I had Aflac clients that I could call.
Right. So you didn't have a non-compete. You couldn't.
Well, it wasn't a non-compete because I wasn't still in them for insurance. I was still in them for payroll. And so that was the difference. I was partnering with these Aflac people. So now all of my friends from Aflac are now business partners of mine.
So basically, you were able to. They know you. They got to know you over the 2 years as Aflac. Now they trust you. You sold Ashley Pack, the product. Now, hey, I'm just over here now.
Yeah.
Right. And you even know more about the payroll because I used to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of be more of a salesperson for Aflac in a way, because now I send them more referrals than I ever have.
Interesting. What kind of? I mean, I've never heard Barry even talk about the business stuff from Aflac. Is it mainly offering it to the employees and it being an extra perk? I know that's what kind of Aflac does.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I think that Aflac in itself, it can help you retain your employees.
Right.
And so that is something a lot of people don't realize. I mean, when Kayla got hurt from her ACL surgery, I mean, they gave me $8,000.
Wow.
And so it's really beneficial for folks that have these low-paying jobs too as well, because some of them may not have any health insurance. And so bringing an Aflac into a business where the business owner could pay for it is only going to help them.
Right. And it's very minimal.
Very minimal.
So you were able to send them a lot. You understood that business model enough. And then how do you go about getting clients? You basically just took the old clients from Aflac. I'm doing this now. Who wants in? Is it an ask for, okay, would you agree that what I did is a good thing? Yes. Who else do you know?
Yeah.
Was that the play?
Yeah. So I think at the very beginning, I did have to still kind of pull doors and things like that. But I stepped away from cold calling because at that point, COVID was over. So I was able to go out and meet people in person.
Right.
And so when I got on my feet again, I was able to go out and kind of pull doors, meet with the community kind of thing. And then I basically got more clients that way. Then my clients give me more clients. My referrals come from multiple different places. David Crabtree is a great business partner of mine. All of course, all the Aflac agents, life insurance agents, all of them are great partners to have.
Now, were you in BNI all this time?
No. I only started BNI when I joined Heartland.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first time you were ever familiar with it?
No, I knew that Barry was already in BNI. But when I was with Aflac, there wasn't any way that I could really join one because I think all the seats were filled for an insurance agent, at least.
So the payroll side, because Heartland does credit card processing and payroll.
Yeah.
Are those the two spaces they dominate?
Yeah.
Why not? Are you able to do credit card or you just do payroll?
I do not sell credit card. No.
Why not? Why didn't you want to do that?
Well, with
can you, can you?
So with our business model, no, you cannot.
Okay.
So I can only physically sell payroll and HR. So I can refer business, of course, over to our credit card team, or anybody else to that matter.
Yeah.
So
is it one of those things that I guess it must be a different sale, or maybe even one of the same. I mean, I've never understood with a commoditized product like payroll, insurance, things of that nature. I guess if I applied myself, you could figure it out. But how would you start approaching businesses like that without partnerships? which is not something I guess you had to do, or you still do it though.
Yeah. So I definitely, I still approach people all the time.
Yeah.
I'll go have lunch somewhere and I'll be like, oh, I don't think these are a Heartland client. Let me give him my card.
Right.
And so I'll just ask him for the owner, and usually the owner's there.
Yeah.
And I give him my card, and then we go from there. I'll tell him I'll follow up with him next week. But that is a little bit different than it used to be.
Yeah.
What
is it that you say when you give them your card to make them remember or make it sticky? You know what I mean?
I think usually I just say, usually the people I'm targeting are here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can sell all over the U.S.
Right.
But I want as many accounts around here as possible. And so when I'm going into a business, I'm just basically saying, hey, I am local, who are you currently using?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be ADP, Paychecks, whatever it may be.
Are you asking, what are your biggest issues with them? That kind of thing?
Yes. Yeah. So I am asking them, are you having to make a call overseas to, receive customer service? What does that kind of look like?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are saying, yes, I don't have a rep anymore, or I don't have somebody that I can directly call.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I usually say, well, when you want my direct phone number and you want me to be there for you, I'm here.
You're not actually doing the payroll though.
No.
It's all you're just handing it off.
Yeah, well, yes, but I am their emergency phone call. So if I have a whole book of clients, if any time or any day somebody forgets to pay somebody or something happens, I'm their emergency phone call. So they can call me, I can get a hold of their payroll specialist super fast, and we can get them paid.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's like they don't have to call a 1-800 number.
Right.
So.
They just call you and you're going to take care of it. Just
Yep.
get it done for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we had Andrew Daniel
Yeah.
in our group. We still have access to him.
I know.
But he works for a company that basically it was a good guy to know because he cut out all the bureaucracy, and he just knew how to get things done inside the company. And that's why he's one of the most high performing people. There is a nuance to being the contact person.
Yeah.
And that's a good strategy.
Yeah. It leads to more business for sure.
And you actually have done very well. You've exceeded up the ranks. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, was that getting into Heartland? Did Aflac have any sort of reward ranking system like that?
They did. Yeah.
Okay. Was it something that you were like, oh yeah, I am so primed. I'm going to be on that and I'm going to dominate it. In either situation, was that a mindset you had?
With Aflac, no.
Because I was selling insurance.
Don't like insurance.
Right.
But with Heartland, yes. I feel like the second I got in there, I really wanted to create something that was different, and they saw, I think they saw that side of me,
Right.
the side that was the business manager at one point in time,
Right.
the side that was a little bit more of a leader.
Is that a differentiating factor that you have? Do other people that sell this have that as well? Like a background in payroll and HR?
Yeah.
Do
So
they?
a lot of our folks actually come from Paychecks or ADP. So a lot of them will come over and sell for us instead, which is really nice.
But somebody coming in off the street, they're in for a surprise?
Yeah.
Really? You got to know a little bit about what goes into
Yeah.
payroll.
For a little bit there, we could actually have folks that we could train a lot to sell it, and it would be fine. But the chances of them actually staying for long term was kind of slim to none.
Right.
So a lot of the people, we make sure that they have at least a little bit of a background.
Well, tell me about that reward system, that ranking system. You made like some sort. What was the recent one you just made?
Blue Diamond.
Blue Diamond.
Yeah. So we have.
What's the highest one you can achieve?
I guess everybody jokes about it because it's like the diamonds are like the ski resorts.
Right. Well, there's Black Diamond.
Yeah. So I'm going for Black Diamond next.
Black Diamond is the top cream of the cream.
No,
cream of the
double
crop?
black is the top.
There's no beyond that.
No, that's it.
What's the reward when you would hit those mile markers?
Oh, all sorts of things.
Really?
I mean, more pay is the top thing, but I think, and you get an assistant at some point in time that can help you manage all of the accounts that you've signed because you have hit that level, you know.
Wow.
And so that would be something that would be really nice and probably
How far away from you are it? How far away from you are it? How far away are you from it?
From Black Diamond, I am $70,000 away.
And that's got to be an annual.
It's within a 6-month period. So I have to I am trying to get it by the end of December.
Okay. How close?
So,
and you're still 70 grand away?
Yes.
What's the spacing between each level?
Oh gosh. I'm not sure. I would have to actually look that up, I think.
So, but roundabout.
Yeah.
Estimation.
So I think that probably you would have to, so with Blue Diamond, I think you had to sell probably about 150, 160, somewhere around there.
$160,000 in gross revenue a year?
In payroll margin.
Okay.
Yes.
So profit.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So your actual number's a lot bigger than that. Your gross revenue.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
they measure it by profit. Interesting. I mean, how many clients is that?
A lot.
Really? I mean, the average payroll spend is what? For a
it
small
depends
business.
on what the size of the account. So, like, if you have one employee, okay, it's probably an annual amount of $1,000.
Right.
Okay, so they're paying $1,000 a year for payroll.
Right.
Okay.
But you're getting the payroll and the HR component.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
So it's a plus for any business owner, really.
Right.
Because
you pay a person in house, who God knows what amount. Probably 150 grand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but really, I think that, like, when you get to the larger accounts, of course, I can bring in probably $20,000 to $30,000 in margin.
Right.
And so, but those are, harder to get.
What seems to be your bread and butter business?
Anywhere employee size. So we go off of employee size. So, I really enjoy the ones that are 10 to 25 employees, just because they need my help the most.
Right.
But would I love a 200 employee group? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get them all over the place.
Right.
So I've got 1 employee groups. I have 5 employee groups, just everywhere. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So what kind of businesses, though, are bread and butter? Not just
yeah.
sizable. Because those are a lot of restaurants, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That fit that.
Yeah.
employee
Restaurants
size.
are good. Actually, I just recently signed a restaurant, so that's
Really?
also, yeah.
Whereabouts?
Nolensville.
That's where you're in College Grove area, right?
I am.
Right.
I grew up in Nolensville, though.
Where that place changed. My
Big
goodness.
time.
So many people moving here. Has that been a factor? With all the Californians moving here and
No, it's great. I love
Michiganites?
them.
Well, I know we love them. I'm not trying to say that you don't. I mean, do you?
Yes. Yes, I do. I do love them. Because we came from Nolensville and the farm is something that we love. Of course, we don't want, overpopulation or, people taking property and buying it and building neighborhoods, or whatever it may be. But I mean, growth is going to happen.
Right.
And so, yes, I love all the people from out west.
So 70,000 away from a double black diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to get it by this year.
I'm going to get it.
Look at you, assuming the sale, putting it out there. You're calling it out.
Uh-huh.
What's the plan? How can we help you?
Yeah, the plan is just every time you walk into a business, I think that just asking them, are they happy with their payroll service?
Well, I understand. It's kind of an odd question for me to come into any business. Like, oh, here's, Ace Hardware.
I know.
Hey, here's your screws. Hey,
Are you happy with your payroll service?
Payroll. What do you think?
Yeah.
Kind of like about a little iffy. Is that what you do? No. I just really like talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you just casually bring it up? You know?
That's why the referral partners that I have, it does come up for them.
Right.
And
that was like back when I sold lighting. I had the lighting seat in B&I.
Yeah.
I am looking for property managers, people that, want easy maintenance. I said, but honestly, sometimes just going up and asking the checkout person at Hobby Lobby, hey, when are you guys going to LED here? And I used to say that, I'm like, that's a way, and because that's what I would do. Yeah. Because it was in my best interest to ask, hey, when are you guys going to LED here? And they would go, I don't know if we did. Well, it doesn't look like you have. Who handles that? Oh, that's so-and-so. Are they here? Because I just wouldn't mind just leaving a card. That's what I do. And I think you guys could really, do you like the lights here? And they go, they're really kind of danking. They are, aren't they? Yeah. Would you like better light? Help me help you. By the way, how's your payroll? Yeah. They'd be like, is that what you do too? No, I just like talking about it. I like talking about HR.
I love it.
That's actually not a bad tact for you. So how's your payroll here? Is that what you do? No, I just like talking about it. No, I'm just joking. I do that. Yeah. Yeah, that would like lower the...
That's what I'm totally going to do.
Yeah.
The next few door pulls I do, that's what I'm going to do.
That's the beautiful thing about a commoditized... Even the car business was somewhat commoditized, even though I think we're selling sexy vehicles. When you had the people with the wall up that would come on the lot... And, no matter what you did, I think I even did like an entire presentation doing a Christopher Walken impression one time. Somebody dared me to do it.
Oh, gosh.
I did it. And the people were just like looking at me going, what the hell's wrong with this guy? But I would literally be like, hey, so you're seeing the car. And if they were just stone face, I would get this ridiculous. The car's right here. Does the color work for you? The color works for you. Well, you're probably wondering, did you want to see the inside? Yeah. Okay. That's where the Mercedes-Benz door comes in. Watch this. And I'd sit there and open the door and be like, now you can get in the car. When you get in the car, you can close the door and you feel compact. You feel inside the car. Imagine if you're driving down the road and you need to turn. See that round thing? It's a Mercedes-Benz steering wheel. Because otherwise, how do you control it? Yeah. I'll just get that ridiculous. They hopefully would laugh.
Oh, yeah.
But if they did,
I laugh
it's
at
like,
everything.
dude, sometimes they wouldn't.
Oh, gosh. That would be uncomfortable.
You're going to make me go absolutely ridiculous on it. But literally, I would do that kind of stuff just to get them laughing. Let's have fun. It's like, how do you make a commoditized industry? Insurance, mortgages, real estate's sexy because you're selling a house. How do you make it fun and sexy? Have fun with it. Make them laugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to have a personality about everything.
You really do. I love Barry's take on things. Barry's our Aflac guy in the B&I chapter that Ashley and I are part of. And for the longest time, like everybody, if you've ever been to a B&I meeting, all the members stand up and give commercials. And in our group, we're really just having fun. We're cutting up. And because I run the AV portion of the meeting, I have a roadcaster in front of me with all sorts of hot buttons and sound effects and music beds. And for a while, I was contemplating putting on the most dismal music every time Barry would get up to speak. Because for the longest time, he'd be like, I just want to remind everybody that 1 out of 2 people will probably get cancer. And of those people, they're probably about 80% of them will die from cancer. And it's like, it would bring the mood of the room right down. And
he still does it.
He does, but now he embraces it. Now, because we kind of pointed it out to him, like, dude, you're such a downer, man. And the funny thing is, you're one of my favorite people. And I think I might have told him, you should really kind of play on that.
I know. I love Barry.
But what can you say to the group in terms of what you do I mean, is that something? I would actually bring it up and be like, hey, what do you guys? It's like, people asking for credit card processing. How do you bring, you guys happy with your credit card machine?
I know. And a lot of times I will just go into a business and just flat out ask them.
Uh-huh.
And that usually brings up a conversation. A lot of times they'll just be like, oh, so somebody else, they just didn't get paid the other day, you know? And I'm like, well, how would you like that fixed?
Yeah.
And so.
What else is wrong with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally, maybe that would be a funny, video documenting that kind of an exercise, going around to different businesses and just, even though I don't sell it. Yeah. Hey, well, how's your payroll?
I would love for you to do that.
Who does that?
That would make my day.
Is that what you do? No. Not remotely. It's just something I really love to talk about.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hand him my card.
That's right. I don't, but she does. She doesn't like to talk about it as much as I do. Is that something you want to talk about with me right now?
Yeah.
Because I'd really love it. By the way, when are you guys going to LED?
That's great.
So your husband, what is he? He works for the school system? Right?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He works for Metro Nashville Public Schools. He's in the glass department. So he installs glass.
On the buildings.
So he has this big truck. He drives around town with glass in it, and he can cut it and measure it and, install it.
I didn't realize they were so big that that was a demand.
Oh, yeah. And he gets calls late at night to go in.
Is that because kids are there throwing rocks through the windows?
Or gunshots or whatever it may be.
Oh, fun. Does he actually pull windows down that have bullet holes in them and everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So
sounds like a fun job.
It is. He loves it.
How long has he been doing it?
God. Maybe 12 years now.
What did he do before that?
He worked at Nashville Glass. And so
he's a glassman.
He is a glassman. He's a farmer and he's a glassman. And he does both of them beautifully.
He's very transparent.
I think that's funny because everybody tells me that he is just so not outgoing when they meet him. And it's just...
was I sitting next to him? No, I was sitting next to my wife. That's right.
Yeah. Y'all were sitting across the table from us, and it was me and Jonathan in the other booth. And
he was just totally sizing us up.
Oh, yeah. He will. Yeah. But we got in the car, and I was like, hey, did you like Jim and his wife? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Could you let him know next time, for crying out loud?
You're not the first person.
I don't blame him. At some point, you just get over people. Had enough. Especially in this past couple of years.
I know.
So with the farm, is that a monetization effort too, or is it just kind of a fun thing to do?
I think it started out as a fun thing, and now it's just overwhelming, I think. But,
what do you sell anything off, eggs or milk or anything?
So he does, the cows.
Right.
will.
What do you mean does the cows?
Well, no, not that way. Yeah. He'll take those to the slaughterhouse and have them
That's where they
processed.
get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lambs, the sheep, we also eat those.
Are you guys actually living off of your cattle that you have there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Courtney expressed an interest the other day.
He is a huge deer hunter too, so we eat a lot of deer meat too.
I had deer venison the other night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or deer jerky. Not deer venison. That venison's the meat.
Well, I've got a ton of deer in my refrigerator. I will bring you some.
I'm not a big connoisseur of deer. Like I ate it, just out of being polite the other night, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But one of the other podcasts I produce, he's a big deer hunter as well. Mm-hmm. And, he sent us a video. He actually wants to do an episode from their deer stand.
Oh, yeah.
And then do a right in front of the guys, field dress a deer. And I'm think that would be fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, some of these guys would be like, oh, that's just, just getting their reactions, Yeah. Because a lot of people aren't used to seeing that stuff anymore.
They aren't. Yeah.
But it's probably a good skill to learn. I told Courtney about it. She goes, I really want to learn how to do that. I said, well, I'm sure he'll be happy to teach you. I said, but there's got to be YouTube videos and stuff that show you how to do that.
I'm sure. I'm sure there is. You know, our daughter just this morning, I woke up at 5:45, and there's a Great Pyrenees in my face.
Right.
And Thursdays is my day that I can sleep in a little bit.
Not Saturdays?
No, Thursdays. And so I'm like, her dog is in my face. Okay. I text her. I'm like, hey, come get your dog. He's in my face, And she's like, I'm in the woods. So she was in a deer stand this morning at 5 a.m. and left her dog just running around in the house aimlessly. So
that's cool, though. This is your daughter. Mm-hmm. How old is she again?
She's 20.
And she's going to be an esthetician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's got the entrepreneurial bug, too. Mm-hmm. Betting on herself.
Does. Yeah.
Good for her. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I mean, how's that business going for her? Why is she not in our group?
Well, she's a little bit more like Jonathan.
Right.
When it comes to
we got to get her out of her shell.
Public speaking, I think.
Does she build up her business?
So she still has to take her boards.
Right. Okay.
So that's still in the process. She works, she works at Outlanders. She does waitressing and things like that.
But she was doing a lot of just getting practice on people.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was a whole school. You have to go through 6 months of school.
Yeah. Courtney
so she did that. Yeah.
She was an esthetician once upon a time.
Yeah.
She was a nail tech as well. And she's funny. She's getting back into doing her own nails. And I'm going, why are you not just doing this? She goes, well, I got to get certified. So, well, yeah, how much? Just, we're kind of looking for her next thing in life. We're, waiting for it to reveal itself to us.
Yeah.
But all these things keep on popping up. And it's like she's good at so much stuff. She was always great at massage. She was she was an esthetician in Connecticut. And we moved to Vegas. The license wasn't reciprocal. So she would have to go through the training all over again.
Oh, no.
So, well, instead of you doing that, you've always mentioned wanting to become a massage therapist, which is totally up your alley. It's you. With the way she's able to feel people and empathetically know them and stuff like that. And she ended up going into that, and she was world-class at it. But she's now, 20 years of doing it. Her hands are all kind of rough and everything. Yeah. So we're looking for the next thing. The woman that came to our chapter not too long ago, she's been a visitor a couple of times, Pauline Joseph. Uh-huh, yeah. She's been, I've been wanting to get them together because she's a makeup artist.
Oh, okay.
And Courtney would be great at that.
Yeah.
She'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got so many talents.
She does.
You have a great wife.
You're not joking. You're not kidding. Now, how long you guys been married?
Oh, gosh. 20 years?
Only 20?
Yeah. We've been together for 24.
Wow. We've been together longer than you guys have.
Uh-huh.
We're going on 27 years together, 23 years married.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And old.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting older.
We all are, Ashley. That's what happens. Older's a good way to look at it. It sounds better than saying old. We're getting older. Sounds better than old.
I had somebody tell me the other day that, a lot of these different payroll rep people that are out there are attractive and sexy, and all of that stuff. And I had somebody tell me that, oh, well, we just signed with them because they looked good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what am I, a piece of trash to you?
They actually said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's when I realized you're getting older, Ashley. So, oh well.
Well, we're like fine wines.
It happens.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what's the oddest encounter you've ever had with a client or even prospect?
Oh, God. A lot of times I would have to say people that are paying their folks under the table.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So those are a little bit odd. And, people writing their own checks, having their employees write their own checks is also another.
Like paychecks?
Yes.
Oh,
like
wow.
They would put their checkbook on the counter and go finish working and say, hey, the checkbook's on the counter. Go ahead and write your own check. See you later. Happy Friday.
Yeah, that would be a little unprofessional.
So I have a couple of clients that have done that in the past, and now they're doing much better.
Usually I joke around when we meet this with CPAs or bookkeepers. Not that we do that now, but in the beginning. And I say, well, on one set of books we have, and they go, wait, what? Yeah, I know. You ever run into those situations? Can you teach us how to, on one set of books we want you to do it this way, but on this one, forget about it. You don't know about this one.
Yeah.
Anything like that?
It's about 50% of the time.
Really? Are you serious? You have every one out of every two. You got people that are like, just pay attention to this one, all right? For this one, don't worry. We didn't tell you about this.
There's a lot of it has to do with they don't know that they're doing something that is wrong.
Right.
So a lot of times it comes with education.
Right.
Like I definitely have to educate them on. You didn't realize this was wrong. Well, it is wrong, and you can get fined a lot. Mm-hmm. So let's get it right.
Is that because of the income tax?
No, it's a multitude of different things all the time. But income tax, yes, sometimes.
Yeah, income tax screws everything up.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I'm kind of hoping that with Trump being in office, he's talking about replacing it with tariffs. I don't know how realistic that is. But I've always been a big proponent of the fair tax-esque system overhaul where everything's consumption.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Well, and I feel like we're just taxing the hell out of everybody. I mean,
we are.
And it's awful. And these business owners some of them are getting to the point where they can't survive or they're having to sell their business. I've had at least 4 businesses this year that had to sell or that had to close doors.
But is that because we had a bit of a slowdown? Other mitigating factors? Because we've certainly felt it. And you remember when I said in my presentation a couple of weeks ago, has anybody here felt a squeeze? Having a hard time? Yeah. We have.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we haven't drawn a paycheck, John and I, since May.
Yeah.
There was making payrolls. Because everything just got tight. Interest rates, inflation, all that stuff caught up with us. And now I think things are starting to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot more people buying new businesses too now.
Right.
And so that is also nice to see.
Well, the elimination of an income tax system would just simplify so many things.
It would. I
was talking to our CPA the other day. He goes, the way he could do this is it makes absolute sense, but it makes me irrelevant.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. I mean, someone's got to make sure that the businesses are paying enough taxes on whatever's being purchased. I said, but that's a sales tax system.
Yeah.
So it's just an extra sales tax that goes to the federal government. Okay, that's pretty easy to calculate, as long as your books are representative of, there's no write-offs anymore.
Yeah.
At that point. It's just whatever's being sold.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing too is the no tax on tips.
Right.
Too as well. Because, and possibly no tax on overtime too as well.
I don't think there should be tax on any income, on any property, nothing. Make it all consumption based.
Yep.
Because you have control over it at that point.
Yep.
You literally, and this has been a part of a conversation many years ago at this point, Jason Duncan came in here and I touched upon it and he just took the ball and ran with this concept. He goes, I'm like, you're exactly saying what I was going to say. But the whole notion of a property tax is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Because I would walk people through, a friend actually did it for the first time, with Steve Brink. He was on a couple of months ago. When before I worked for him, he worked a lot with the radio station, so I became friends with him. And we'd have these fun philosophical conversations. And he's like, man, I'm about to pay off my house next month. I'm like, that's awesome, man. That's terrific. Good for you. So you're done with the payments? He goes, yeah. I'm like, every single one. Yep. I said, every single one. You owe no money on that house.
It's so sad.
He goes, he's kind of looking at me. Well, I still got to pay property tax. I said, right. And what happens if you don't pay that?
Yep.
They come and take my house. I said, so do you own it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess not. Right.
No, it sucks.
Right?
So bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I've heard stories of older people getting their homes taken away from them because of it.
It's absolutely disgusting.
It is.
Should be completely eliminated.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a veteran.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yep.
But unbelievable. How do people find and follow you?
Well, I have my great...
I'm waiting for something big to drop here.
I know.
We get a drum roll. Hold on. I don't know if I have a drum roll. Keep going. You keep talking. You're good.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they can find me. They can find me in College Grove.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't have like a landing page or anything?
I do. But it's not like an official website kind of thing.
Why don't you set up a link? Okay, here's a fun topic before I'm wrapping this up. Why we got to make it easy for people to find you.
Yeah, I know.
Do you own ashleypack.com or anything?
No, that would be cool though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, why aren't you thinking about this stuff?
Pack Attack.
Wow.
We could name
Pack
it something.
PR.
Yeah, we can name it.
PR, HR.
Pack HR would be good.
Pack HR would be good.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, where is it? We're going to do this live while we're doing this thing.
Yeah, clearly.
Ashley Pack. It's coming up. Hold on. It's available.
No way.
Yeah.
Pack HR is available?
No, ashleypack.com.
No way.
Go with that. Yeah.
Well, what about Pack HR? Put that in there.
I'll put that in there.
I feel like that would be cool.
Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. This is riveting content. Pack HR. Pack HR. Here we go. No, it's taken.
Damn it.
You can buy it now for $4,000.
No, I'll take ashleypack.com.
Why have we not thought about this? Pack Payroll. Pack Payroll? Survey says it's available. No, packpayroll.co is available.
Okay.
Something to think. I mean, because there you could at least, ashleypack.com. Just go to ashleypack.com.
Let's do that.
Just do that, right?
Yeah.
Then you set up a link tree that takes people to your page that I guess Heartland sets up on your behalf.
Yeah.
Start a conversation, whatever. You could populate all these different things. If you got specials going on, onboarding specials, you could pop all that stuff there.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
There you go.
I'm going to do it.
We're going to do that right immediately when we're done with this thing. So as we speak, are you going to get it in place so before this episode comes out that we could say go to ashleypack.com and everything will be there?
Absolutely.
What do you do for like social media promotion? What can you do to help put yourself
I can do
out
anything
there?
I want to. So I'm in Lindsay's magazine.
Right.
I am, and she posts a thing for me for Google. There it is.
There it is. Neighbors of
magazine.
Franklin.
That's
another friend of ours.
A great magazine to be in. So
Lindsay Stafford. Go check her out. Lindsay Stafford Show being filmed right here.
Yeah, we love Lindsay.
We do.
And so she actually set me up a website, but I don't think it's not catchy.
The website itself?
Yeah, it's like...
Well, whatever she's doing, you just got to point that URL to whatever she's doing.
Okay.
Like a landing page where people can find your socials, follow you. If you start blogging, maybe you start doing payroll HR tips that you're giving out for free, that kind of thing. There's got to be a ton of stuff you can do.
I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
And I need to.
You really do. Chat GPT.
Yep. I'm going to do it.
Pop in a topic and out it comes. You got a blog.
Yeah.
Because those are reverse engineered SEO tools.
Okay.
Something to think about.
Yeah. It'll be awesome.
So as when this finally comes out, just go to ashleypack.com, and by then you should have something, because now we're going to make it public.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to look embarrassed.
I know, and that'll be dumb.
That's right. And Jonathan will have to talk to me at that point. Well, there you go. ashleypack.com. We're going to go ahead and put that in the description. So now she's committed It's in stone. But you can also go to MMTBP.com, find us, follow us. If you know anybody who you think should be on the show, let us know or have them apply. A link is right there on a link tree at the website, so to speak, MMTBP.com. Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast.com as well if you really want to type it out. Ashley, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.